up a plan of action. A plan of action requires an aim objective, how many listings are needed to earn a required amount of money per month. The establishment of a geographical area called the farming area, a time frame, a summary of selling trends in the area, a summary of a possible target market of buyers in their price range, the market share of competing agencies, future developments in the area. The estate agent's farming area is a designated area of potential that is workable and in which the agent can become an authority. It can be a geographical area or a property type. Example, separate title, sectional title, share block or development properties with residential, commercial, industrial, leisure or agricultural use attached to it. There are certain tried and tested methods of sourcing for new agents, including a letter of introduction to the homeowners in the farming area, telephone canvassing, visits in person, brochures with business cards in post boxes. All of these methods should reflect the image that the agent and the agency wish to project. No visit to a potential seller should be attempted without the agent first ensuring a sound knowledge of the amenities in the area, all properties that are for sale in the area, finance and basic taxation, knowledge and a well thought through, professional and rehearsed presentation. An agent must act with integrity at all times and not hassle clients. Just for interest's sake, and I think we are quite a few agents here, what sourcing are you using to canvas if you visit do actual visits to the properties? Hello, can you still hear me? Is there anything else? What I did is I've handed out some seedlings in September, so they can plant something in September. To you, what other ideas do you have in your area? What do you give out? Some biltong or something?
Is there
Rinana, what we normally do is, say for instance, if it's Valentine's month, we give out small chocolates, and so we have different ideas that goes with that month, and then we hand out something regarding that.
That's nice. Yes. Anybody else? Thank you to you. That's very nice. Anybody else? Just an input, Wynand? What will you give out if you do physical visits? Sometimes I've seen also, like you said, on Valentine's Day, agents are standing on street corners handing out this little hot chocolates or sweeties and things like that. Yes, you can. There's different things that you can hand out, and there's very nice ideas. If you go to Pinterest, estate agents gifts, you will be surprised what gifts comes up there. I catch one of our attorneys using that, and every month they will hand something out that's relevant. It's actually very nice and very nice ideas. So have a look at it, Pinterest, and you put in estate agents gift ideas. After the initial meeting, the agent should follow up with a letter of appreciation and the relevant information regarding price, commission, etc. as requested by the seller. Okay, the self-reflection, select the true statements with the reference to an exclusive sale mandate. An exclusive sale mandate, it must be in writing. Guys, and please If you are staying in my area, make sure you complete it yourself and give it to the seller yourself. If you let the seller complete that document and he makes a mistake and I catch you, then your sale mandate is down the drain and I will sell that property. So make sure that you do it yourself. Don't send a blank document ever to a seller. It must be signed by the estate agent only. The seller is, do you think that's right? Is it true that it must be signed by the estate agent only?
No, the seller must also sign.
That's correct. The seller is still entitled to sell the property and the agent will not be entitled to claim for damages on a sole and exclusive mandate, guys. What will you say?
No, I would say on the sole mandate, that's what how we interpreted it. On a sole mandate, we are the only agency, but on an exclusive mandate, him himself can't sell it even.
Yeah, now on an exclusive mandate, it's only that agency that can sell. If he brings the buyer, then you do the contract and you will be entitled on the full commission. The agent must supply the seller with a written marketing plan. What do you think about that question? Yes or no?
I'm not sure if that's compulsory. Then I'm learning something tonight.
No, it's not compulsory, but I think it's a good marketing strategy. That is what it is, but it's not compulsory. The seller can withdraw the mandate even if it is irrevocable.
He can withdraw the mandate if the agency did not do the things that they promised that they will do in the sole mandate.
Yeah, and that is where it's very good to have a written marketing plan, actually, because if your written marketing plan can cover you on this one, if you have done and he accused you maybe for not doing your job, but if you haven't done your job, he's entitled to cancel. The mandate must have an end date.
I would say yes, because that's what we do.
Yeah. The agent must supply the seller with a copy of the mandate as soon as the mandate expires.
No, as soon as it's been signed by both parties.
Yes. The mandator can extend the sale mandate verbally.
No, I prefer everything must be in writing.
Yes, he can call you and say, I want to extend the sale mandate. And then you can do the changes, send it to him to sign, and then you are covered. Any questions to that? Okay, advertising properties. Once a mandate has been obtained to market and sell a client's property, the agent must go about drawing up a marketing plan to suit the needs and requirements of the seller mandated, the specific property and the agency's budget in order to attract the target market that would respond to the marketing plan that has been devised. Advertising has three main objectives: to inform buyers of what stock is available, to persuade buyers to call you, to expose customers to your stock and company on a regular basis. Both the property's functional and emotional benefits need to be stressed, and features that are converted into benefits contribute value. The specific attributes of the property that are the most appealing must be recognized by the agent and used in the copy to make a connection with the reader. Remember to focus on the strong points of the property and not to give too much information, and to avoid abbreviations and real estate jargon. Now, it is very important not to overpromise or oversell a property, because you can verbally or even in writing lose your sale just by overpromising. A newspaper advertisement is a highly effective way of exposing the property to interested parties. Remember that every advertisement must be created with a specific buyer in mind, in accordance with your buyer's profile, and should be written to attract attention, arouse interest, create desire, inspire confidence, and induce action in the people are interested in buying, example, potential purchasers. The advertisement should also contain a price if possible, as many potential purchasers lose interest if there is no price. There should also always be a reference to area or location, and the agency's logo and the agent's details must not be forgotten. The copy and pictures should be changed after 2 to 3 exposures, and a backup buyer's profile targeted. Now, I think when they did this material, it was the newspaper advertisement that was most prominent. But nowadays, I think our advertising, internet advertising, is the one that most of us use. I do think in certain areas, this can still be very good and valuable. I don't know, where do you advertise your farms? Do you still make use of the Landbouweekblad or newspapers?
Rina, no, you don't get really any response from Landbouweekblad. So it's basically on your farmers trading and on all the Facebook groups. There's a lot of farms buying and selling farms and groups like that on Facebook, and then Property 24 and private property as well.
Yeah, so I think, but still, this is still relevant, because it doesn't say that if you put it in a newspaper that this is a hard copy. The soft copy ads is exactly the same for your Facebook or other portals. You will still go to this attraction, attention, arouse interest, create desire, inspire confidence, induce action in the people who are interested in buying. And we know that, we do have lots of scammers, not scammers actually, people who are stealing your clients' details if they leave a message on your Facebook ad. So we try to convince the proposed clients rather to WhatsApp you or send you an inbox instead of leaving their telephone numbers. But this is still relevant. It is just then we go for the soft copies. Design a newspaper advertisement, and you can take this as if it's also an internet advertisement. We will look at it like that as well. So you must source examples of the following advertisement on residential properties in the market and bring copies to the classroom. Newspaper advertisement, brochures, printed web page advertisement. But the printed web page advertisement, that is more on specific, I'll say, you will go on Remax on your website and you will print that advertisement. Your newspaper advertisement, it's either the newspaper or like a Facebook ad or a brochure that you will hand out. Identify the elements of the information on the advertisement that are presented on all the examples. Compare the advertisement in your groups. Based on the above, design your own advertisement for a residential property of your choice. Any questions up to here? Selling your properties. The main objective of an estate agent is to sell his or her listed properties. A willing and able purchaser needs to be introduced to the home, who then enters into a binding agreement of sale with the seller. The selling activity starts when the agent starts building a relationship with the seller at their initial meeting and culminates when the seller accepts the offer to purchase made by the purchaser that was introduced to the property by the agent. The marketing activities were then completed successfully when the right buyer makes an acceptable offer to the seller. The act of selling a property does, however, not end once the agreement has been signed. The agent needs to provide the buyer and the seller with an after-sales service in order to ensure that the service that was promised during the sourcing of mandates and the marketing of the property are delivered. What is after-sales service? A good estate agent who provides a professional service will always ensure that his or her clients are catered for as well after the sale as they were before the sale. In order to obtain the mandate to sell the client's property, the agent markets and promotes him or herself, as well as the agency that he or she works for. Promises are made that need to be kept. Now, this is just an interesting thing. Martin, can I ask you, please, if you sell a property and the price is maybe 2 million, what after sale service will you offer your seller, number one, and your buyer? There's no right or wrong, just for interest sake.
Rina, what we... Okay, Martin, go on.
Rina, well, I'll definitely assist my clients in every way possible. So after the buyer bought the property, I would help them going to the municipality, help them put the account on their names, maybe show them around town, give them a gift, you know, small things like that, just assist them in settling into their new property.
Yeah, because remember what you said now there is your seller might still be a client that can buy somewhere else. Yes, that's to assist them. Yes, that's one thing. Anybody else that might just add to this?
Hi, Rina.
Yes.
Yes, current, yeah. In order to augment into what Martin was actually indicating, you know, sometimes it will be determined by you know, if, let's say, if the seller, I mean, should I say the buyer wants to or should I say the buyer bought that property in order for investment purposes, you know. Sometimes after the sales, what I can do is to say to them, you know what, I will also provide you with tenants, you know, who would like to reside in your property. I think that's one of the after sales service that I can provide to the buyer.
Yes, that's correct. If the buyer is doing it for investment purpose, yes, you can do that. It's nice because then you have another transaction also on the table on the rental side. Yes. Anything else? Maybe do you want to add?
No, I think they've said it all.
What about when your buyer now wants to move into this property? It's 2 million and you went through for the full commission. So that's about 100 and what's it, 50, 60,000 Rand commission, where if you are in a 50-50 split, you get about 80,000. So that's we say a lot of money, but that's in brackets. We will come to that one day, is to work your commissions out. But don't you think it is going to be a very good after service is to get a small platter? It's going to cost you like 100, 200, 300 Rand with a nice cold drink or bottle of wine, whatever. You can, while you're talking, taking your clients out, you can find out what do they like. Do they drink alcohol or don't they drink alcohol? If they do drink alcohol, you can put a nice bottle of wine in there. Otherwise, you do non-alcoholic drink in there. Is there kids? Maybe something for the kid in there, a small toy or something. And when you hand the keys over, hand that over. Just imagine if you buy a car and this red big ribbon is on the car. It just let you feel so good. Don't you think that will let them also feel good? And make sure that your logo or your key, you must have key tags that you put on the key and give it to them without saying anything to them, asking them to refer people to you. If you hand them the keys with your name and business card, like business card on it, immediately when somebody else wants ask them where did you buy or who did you use, they will have your details at hand. And that is a way also to build up referrals and to get people to come back to you, because you show some empathy And because for them it's a home that they're buying, it's a very important transaction that they're doing, and maybe it's their first time. That is their empire, and just to contribute a little bit to that. I always see that, you know, the people that I'm doing that for is always coming back to me. Anything else that you would like to add?
Yes, Rena, current, yeah.
Yes, Karen.
Yes. Am I wrong to actually attribute what we have just indicated, you know, as part of what we've been talking about recently? Remember last week we're discussing public relations. Am I wrong to say what you have just indicated forms part of public relations? Actually, it forms an integral part of public relations.
Yeah, but I think public relations, as per se, maybe I'm a little, I won't say I'm wrong, but I see public relations as that's to anybody. After sales service is to a specific client. It's the one that you just sold to. And in a way, yes, it is public relations because he's going to advertise for you. Yeah, you can see it maybe that way. But for me, is the after sales service is very important. Also, that is now for the buyer. What about the seller? He's moving out, and we have a thing in format in the company that if we can sell your property, Mr. Seller, we will give you 10,000 Rand back. If you think, what is your commission on a 2 million? As I say, what's it, 160, 150, 160? Take 10,000 from that, give it to him. He can use it for curtains, for the kids' new school clothes, for whatever he needs for relocation. And you know what? He will always remember you and your company. And when somebody asks where you can they use, they would always come back to you. You know, a 10,000 Rand is, yes, it's a lot of money if you don't have it. We all need it. But if it comes from that commission, you will not feel it. Because remember, if you take it from the top, your company is in any case going to share in a portion of that in any way. So this is just suggestions. Maybe it can be of help. Any questions? Now, due to COVID, there is new, unfortunately, we cannot attend that meeting tonight. There's a meeting from the estate, a webinar from the Estate Agency Affairs Board regarding the COVID new rules and regulations. I will get that and I will put it on the groups for you. But remember, the sanitizing is very, very important. You are not allowed to go through a house with a lot of people. What I always ask, the latest is I ask the seller, please to move out of the house, not move, to go out of the house, so that we as I can accompany the purchasers. And also if it's a group, then you only take through two at a time, and they must keep distancing. Although even if they are a married couple, I still let they keep distancing. Show houses, we are not allowed to do show houses now. But you can put a show board up and sit at a place and arrange with the seller that if somebody calls you, then you will come through with a client. Okay, but let's go. I don't think this COVID is going to last forever. So let's see how they want us to do the show houses. The main benefits of having show days is that it creates an opportunity to promote the company and the agent working in the area, contributes toward creating area dominance, and is an excellent source of buyers and sellers. Furthermore, it provides a service to the clients and creates a platform for the agent to give feedback to the seller regarding price and buyer's interest. Once again, the planning stage is extremely important to ensure a successful house showing. A thorough knowledge of the area and the property in question is imperative, and the agent must ensure that visitors are personally welcomed. The entrance to the home must be attractive and appealing, and all documentation must be at hand and professionally prepared. This list that you create and for this sellers, we are using a form, and we put it with them. at the house. So every agent, we are a few agents in the company. If you go through, we don't know who is going to take a client through, so you leave it there, and the agent must sign it, and then the client must also sign and make a suggestion there. Maybe the house is too big, or that needs paint, or whatever the case may be. They must just leave a comment there. It helps the seller to show what is the client's thinking of their houses. Any add on to the show else? A visitor's book should be utilized to record visitors' details and comments. Okay, that's what we spoke about. Use an open house register. Hold a drawing for a gift certificate from a local department store. Award a gift certificate, basket, or other prize for the person who guesses the correct selling price. Hold a drawing for a pair of first-run movie tickets. Have a list of switches. Other good properties that are not open, have a Rio list for closure of properties that are not open. This is very nice, and you can use it in an open house as well. I normally use this type of registers at golf, when there's a golf competition and you are a sponsor for one of the holes. Then you do these drawings and things like that. Anything that somebody can add on this open house leads? Have a list of probate or other distressed properties available. Have a loan officer available to pre-qualify your prospects on the spot. That we don't do anymore. I've told you about Uber. Uber's got a very, very nice app. You download that app, and that app tells you everything. Also, you can email the client the information that you pull there. Offer a free neighborhood email newsletter. Offer complimentary information on tax breaks for those who are 55 and older. If you have a really hot prospect, use the technique from Tom Hopkins, send them home with a quart of ice cream so they won't look at any other open houses. Progress reports are an important part of providing a professional service to the seller and should form part of the marketing material. These written reports should be made on a regular basis, example weekly or fortnightly as agreed with the seller, and serve as an excellent communication tool between agent and seller, and aid largely in building a solid relationship with the client. This information, this report is also nice. I don't know if your company that you are working with is on Prop Data, but Prop Data is has a facility there where you can actually draw the seller's information sheet on that property, and it's so nice. It gives you the days that the property is on the market, how many views, etc. Do you all know about that report? Is everybody using Prop Data? Let me just ask who's not using Prop Data. Just put up your hands, please. Karen, what are you using then? Karen, hi, what are you using?
You mean in terms of marketing plan?
Your website. What are you using for your website? What platform?
Oh, you mean the platform we use for advertising our properties?
Yeah.
No, there are so many of them, but I can't remember some of them to the names. But I think to answer, if I'm answering your question correctly, we've got private property. Am I right?
Yeah, well, private property is not a managing site. The managing site is that we're looking for. On your managing site, I'm just looking now, where can I did pull another one, but that was not on Format site.
Okay.
That I just want to show you. It's so nice that you can actually show the seller, like every Friday, you can send that document to the sellers. I've advertised a property for somebody else on another site, and that's what I'm looking for now. Okay, I will get it and I will share it with you.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure, if we've got that in our company. It has never been introduced to me. I'm not quite sure if we've got it.
Yeah, I think they do have it, Maxwell. Normally they do. I think it's something that they know it, or they maybe don't know it. I'm not sure, but it's it's actually very important to give feedback to your clients. That is the main thing. I will look for this and I will put it up just now. How prop data is. Theo, are you also going? Is Remax also using prop data?
Rina, we're using the Remax hub. So property 24 and private properties data pulls through to the Remax hub, and then you get all your data on our hub.
Yeah, but this is now specifically for the seller. Anybody that clicks onto his property to view the property and all the inquiries that will come up to this property.
Yeah, we get that data pulled through to our website.
So you do get that data.
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. Yeah, it is quite important, and to keep the sellers up to date on that, it's very important. Okay, here's one. Okay, I'm just going to open it so that you can see what information is on this document. And as I say, this is on behalf of somebody else. I've put my name there because they are not registered agents. Can you see this?
Yes,
We can.
Okay, so what we refer to is, this is a seller's report. It shows to you that it's 111 days on the market. And the telephone leads, there was none. Website leads, none. Portal leads, none. Total leads, 0. 206 views. Email alerts, none. Hot buyer matches, 1. Mild buyer matches, 0, 0. So out of this information, you can see definitely the price is not right. It is, and then you can take this to the seller and say, Mr. Seller, you know what, your property is on the market for so many days. There was 206 views. For sure, out of 206 views, there must be at least 1 or 2 people that might be interested just to go and view the property. Not to say that they will buy it, but at least they will be keen. So this is very important for you to also study, because it will also help you to make sure that you are priced correctly and that your seller is up to date with what's going on. Any questions? Okay. Progress report, as I say, it's very, very important, and it keeps the seller informed as to the progress that is being made with the marketing feedback from the buyers, and create the opportunity to talk to the seller about a possible price review backed by current market information. You see, that is why it is so much important for you to do that study. It is also for you to build a market study and to see what's going on in that area. You can still see my page. Reports such as these on a regular basis will ensure that the client never feels neglected or that the agent made futile promises just to get a mandate. This serves as proof that the agent is actively involved in marketing the property and should put the seller's mind at ease and keep him or her informed. And it's important that if you change the price of the property and the seller agreed to that, that you change it on the mandate, either rewrite the mandate or change the mandate, and all the parties must sign next to it. When you change the mandate, remember, next to the change, you must also put the date on which you change that, make that changes. It's quite important. It's not compulsory, but it's also for future reference a very good thing to do. Also on your sales contract, just do it as if it must be there. Then you know exactly what's going on, because that can also have an effect at a stage on your effective date that you refer to. Now, self-reflection, why do you think it is important that an estate agent provides an after-sales service to his or her clients? Who can just take this one on? It's no right or wrong. Anybody that can try it, maybe.
Rina?
Yes. Yeah, cool.
If you look at statistics, then you'll see that the most leads that you will ever receive is from referrals, and your referrals you get from your customers that you've just dealt with most of the time, or even if you've sold them a house 2 or 3 years ago, if you give them good service, they are going to refer you to somebody else. So I think that's why it's important to always give good after sales service and follow up in that way. You are 100% correct to that one. And the good thing about after sales service, as you said, and they refer it to you, I think then you will have like an assurance that they will not use anybody else. They will only use you. So they will not run around with all the estate agents in the area and looking for properties. They will believe what you are telling them and they will stick to you. So that's a very good point. What can you suggest to a new estate agent to create area dominance in the canvassing stage of the selling cycle? This is a nice one. So if you are a new estate agent and you want to create area dominance, what will you do to what's that word? Outrange your competitors? Alma, you want to try it? Alma, you want to try this one?
Yeah, repeat it just again.
What will you suggest if you are a new estate agent and you want to an area dominance? What will you do to get area dominance?
Advertise more, show myself more, do I don't know, I think advertising. I don't know.
No, it's no right or wrong. So we will hear from the floor.
Okay.
Janus, what will you do to do area dominance?
I think to be more visible, maybe
Yeah.
signs. I think it's about visibility. So if the people see you, they think about you and they remember you.
Yes, true. Maxwell, what will you think you will do to get area dominance?
Hey, this one, I'm not quite sure.
The best one that I've ever heard in my life, and I can still not get my head around it to do it and convince myself, but I think it's very good. It was an agent, but the area is like, it was quite a lot of agents in the company. And like, say, for instance, Rietfontein, Pretoria, they've divided so that they will only have like 3 or 4 blocks that they are working in, which I think it was very, very small. So what she did is she baked bread every Friday. But she makes small breads, not big. I hope not big, but they say it wasn't that big. And she delivered the bread every Friday. So the people were actually waiting for her to deliver the bread. and she was top agent for that area. So I thought by myself, nobody must ever challenge me on that one. But yeah, that was a very good and a nice one. So if you are energetic and you like baking bread, that might be an option. Stu, what will you do?
Irina, no, I think they've done it all, but I think it's just the main thing to do something which others don't do. So we like to get involved at the schools with the sport and stuff, and support them there, and go and hand out gifts and food and stuff at the old age homes. That's all things that the people are talking about in town.
Yeah, I think in short, it's exactly what you say, and it's visibility. I think you must get your name out there and be visible. I think that is the most important thing. I think here in town, they like to stand on corners. Remax here likes to go to a corner, and then all the cars of Remax park in there. It looks like a big party, 6 o'clock in the mornings. And I'm sure they will have some sherry there, but yes. Okay. Any questions up to here? Selling a property. Selling a residential property takes hard work, dedication, and specific knowledge. This section will give learner estate agents an insight into the actual practice of selling and all the aspects that is entails from the first meeting with a potential property buyer until the sale has been successfully concluded with the seller. And this is just a table to say that from canvassing, you're qualifying the seller, market the property, presenting the property, qualifying the buyer, it's very important, obtaining the offer, negotiating, closing the sale, after sales service, and getting repeat business, planning and preparing. So everything starts with planning and preparing, from selling the property and to canvassing the property. We have covered the planning and preparation and the actual marketing of the property earlier on the previous section, which included aspects of sourcing properties, advertising and selling. We also covered the importance of a good after-sales service. We will now focus on canvassing or prospecting for buyers and sellers, example properties to sell, estimating property value and listing the property, example qualifying the seller, presenting the property, qualifying the buyer, obtaining of the offer, and the negotiating and closing elements of the selling cycle. During this phase of the selling cycle, the skill of handling and overcoming objections is extremely important. There are some factors that need to be considered by the estate agent before he or she starts working directly with clients. Know your company policies and procedures. Know your stock. Make and confirm appointments well in advance. And I can just bring in here, please keep in mind your COVID rules and regulations. It is so easy to step into trouble here with the new COVID rules. You have to adhere to that as well. Make and confirm appointments well in advance. An estate agent must never ever be late. Please, guys, I hope not one of you is one of the that will always be late, because if you are late, your client is going to sit on the road. He's already going to be upset before he's even seeing the house. Then whatever you show him, he's not going to be much interested in that. The purpose of canvassing. Canvassing for properties to sell is the first step in the selling cycle. Finding the right stock is paramount to an estate agent's success, because the agent that dominates the farming area dominates the sales. Canvassing is a golden opportunity to start creating area dominance by meeting with potential sellers, finding sellable stock, meeting potential buyers. Remember, sellers are also buyers within the farming area and personalizing your market. In order to canvass in a professional and effective way, in order to create area dominance, the agent must adhere to the following. Plan his or her canvassing activities with care. How do you do that? You create a presentation folder and you list sellable stock. Get to know the area. Set up ways to meet people face to face. You know, I always say is that just let me talk to the client. Let me just see. Let you sit in front of me. Then I've done the deal. Because it's very important. Look your client in the eyes. There's this body language law rules. The one who looks away first, that one is the loser. So always make eye contact. That is very important. Devise ways to stay in touch. Now with the POPI Act, remember, we have to ask permission to stay in touch with them. Personalize his or her marketing activities. Let they feel that they are the most important client you've got. Do a proper proposal and let they feel important. Pre-plan a marketing campaign. You will know your property, you will know your area, you will know who are you going to target, and pre-plan that marketing campaign. If it's on Facebook, on Marketplace, then you tell them and show successes that you have already done on that Marketplace. Develop a personal business plan. So that you can show them what is your intention, how are you going to market the property. Just for interest sake, the marketing campaigns on Facebook, how many of you knows how to do the Facebook ads? Or let's say, how many does not know how to do Facebook ads? Just put up your hands, please. So you're all familiar with Facebook ads?
No, Rina.
So you are not that familiar with Facebook ads, Vusi?
Yes.
Okay, we will go through that one. Tulani, Maxwell. Okay, what I will do is I will quickly do one night. I will show you how to do on Facebook ads. What I can ask from you in the meantime is go and join as many groups in the area that you are working or you would like to work. So you go on your Facebook and you join. Tulani, you want to ask something? Current?
Hi, Rina.
Yes.
Yes, you didn't elaborate more on sellable stock, so I just wanted to check with you. What are they actually referring to? I mean, when they say sellable stock.
Okay, I will talk about that one. Yes. Tulani, are you satisfied? Okay, sellable stock means that, say for instance, Karen, that you must now go and list a property, and let's take for in case, where do you stay? Let me see, ask first, where do you stay?
I stay in Centurion, and
okay.
I also happen to work there. Yes, Eco Park. Yes.
Eco Park. Okay, you've got the Eco Park there, and then you have. I'm thinking now, what is the medium class area in Centurion? Let's say Laudium, but no, not Laudium. It's also expensive there.
We can talk about the Hoovers in Centurion, maybe.
But Hoovers is also, it's more plots there, and there is houses.
Maybe Olive.
Pardon?
Maybe Olive.
Okay, what Olivenhout? Yeah. Okay, let's say you take Centurion and you go like I want two areas close to each other. I'm thinking now. The Hoovers will be one. Your properties that is selling in that area. What will you say is the price of the Hoovers?
You know,
For a 3-bedroom house, let's guess.
For a 3-bedroom house.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, sometimes it is. It is determined by the kind of a complex, but that can go for 800,000.
Okay, but now you take that new area that has been built there on Ruimte. What is that, Ruimsig? Is it Ruimsig, that area there? There is smaller units, houses, and there is that complexes there. Houses they are selling for what, 1.2, 1.3? Am I correct? Plus minus. Let's say it is, okay? Now, if you go to Hoover's and the property that you now say is 800,000, the seller thinks now he can ask 1.2 million because neighboring properties are selling for 1.2. But his property is maybe 30 years old. The property neighboring is 2 years old. So he does need to do some upgrades on the electrical system and the plumbing system, but he still insists he wants 1.2 million. That property is not a sellable property. It's something that you cannot sell for that price where people can move in and stay. If he sells it for 800,000 and the new buyer maybe put in 200,000-300,000, then it became a sellable property. But for as it is now, it's not a sellable property. Did I explain it correctly?
Yes, Ren. Yes.
Okay,
yes,
so you understand it now. So a sellable property means it is a property that will sell for the price that you're asking for, and it's worth it, that price that you ask for it. And that is our job, is to determine what is the real value of that property. And by doing that, we make use of Lightstone and Property 24 and other portals. Any other questions? Creating a presentation folder. Whilst canvassing for stock, the agent has the opportunity to promote him or herself and the company that he or she works for, to point out their strong points and points of difference, and to control the client's perceptions. You should build a personal presentation folder that can be utilized for this purpose. Sales in the area, current listings, a copy of a CMA explained fully on this chapter, a good marketing plan, copies and advertisements and marketing brochures, and letters of recommendation from previous clients, and copies of documentation used by your agency. Any questions? Okay, there is your activity, a presentation folder. You are required to list the type of information that will make up your presentation folder. Personalized marketing. In your endeavors to create area dominance, it is very important when canvassing for properties to personalize your marketing activities. If the homeowners know you and identify with you and what you stand for and what you do, they will support you. There are some ideas on how to personalize your marketing. Do postal drops in the area, send out regular newsletters, do some promotions in the local newspaper, personalize brochures and stationery, sponsor some local events, become involved in community development. Meeting people, make an effort, and going out to meet people is an important activity when stating out. The homeowners in your farming area need to be told about you and what you do and what you stand for. Your current friends and acquaintances and family members, meetings can be set up with homeowners in your farming area. Telephone canvassing is another way of making contact. Private sellers can be contacted and you can offer your service in the event that they are unsuccessful. Listings that have expired can be revised. The company's previous client base is a wealth of information. Having a show house in the area will draw not potential buyers, but also homeowners in the area. Do not forget to make use of the agency's referral network and to follow up on these leads. Other agents' listings can also be followed up on as long as they are not sole mandates. Sellable stock. when an estate agent undertakes a canvassing drive, it is necessary to ensure that the stock that is canvassed is in fact sellable. For example, no one has the time or money to waste on stock that is extremely overpriced. The following criteria should be kept in mind when canvassing for sellable stock. The seller's motive to sell, price must be market related, curb appeal, location, condition of the property. The seller's motivation is probably the most important factor when canvassing for sellable properties, but the price at which the property comes onto the market will determine how long it will take to sell. Any questions? There are a number of different situations that give rise to the necessity of qualifying a buyer. A potential buyer walks into the office, a telephonic response to an advertisement, a pre-arranged meeting with a prospective purchaser at a show house. Firstly, determining the buyer's motivation and needs is critically important. One of the first things that must be established is how urgent the buyer needs to find a new home in your area. The agent needs to ascertain the soonest and latest dates on which the buyer needs to take occupation. Example, move in, the reasons for having to take occupation on a particular date, and whether the proceeds from the sale of the buyer's present home need to be utilized to finance the purchase of the property are good indicators of the buyer's buying position. It is a good idea to make use of a buyer's listing form when qualifying a buyer where the questions that need to be answered are listed. The buyer's financial position must also be analyzed, and such pre-printed form can make it easier for the agent to ask the relevant questions. Any questions? An agent needs to inquire whether the buyer is in a position to pay cash or deposit at relevant transfer cost and transfer duty, and in what income bracket he or she is. The necessity for a mortgage loan must also be established, and whether proceeds from the sale of the buyer's present home will be utilized to finance this acquisition. A relevant personnel detailings include the size of the family, dependent on public transport, other areas they may be interested in, how long have they been looking for, have they seen any other properties in the area they liked, why have they not bought yet, do they own a property or are they renting, is their current property on the market and for how long, how much do they intend investing in a new home, would the purchase be subsidized, do they have preference of a particular bank. And I always include there as well, it's very important to ask if they find a house today, are they willing or can they, how fast can they move in? There is questions like that, but this is a specific one that I'm asking. And also, do they have any cash at hand to pay for the transfer cost? Work out the transfer cost beforehand so that they know that is a cost that they have to carry apart from 100% bond. So there is qualifying the buyer. You will get a copy of the buyer's listing form from your workplace. In your group, use the listing form and role play an interview with the buyer. If you don't have a listing form, a buyer's listing form, let me know and we can help you with one. Okay, a South African citizen can enter into an agreement to purchase a property if he or she is a mayor or has been declared a mayor by the High Court in the event that he or she is older than 18 years. On marriage, a mayor also irrevocably becomes a mayor. A minor of 7 years old or older can enter into an agreement with the guardian's assistance in the form of written consent, or the guardian can enter into the agreement on behalf of the minor. Legal qualification of a buyer would furthermore entailing establishing whether the buyer is an unrehabilitated insolvent, as insolvents may not enter into agreements without their trustees' written consent. If the buyer is buying the property in his or her personal capacity and is married in community property, a mortgage cannot be registered over the property, and a spouse may not bind himself or herself as surety without the other spouse's written consent, attested by 2 witnesses. The buyer can purchase the property without the spouse's consent, but property ownership is registered in the names of both spouses. You see, this clause is for you. You will know about it, ne? When that property is sold, the seller requires his or her spouse's written consent attested by 2 witnesses if the buyer is buying in his or her personal capacity and is married in terms of an antenuptial contract. Out of community property, each spouse has full contractual capacity of his or her own properties. It is so important, guys, to make sure on this third clause is that remember that any of the, like a husband or wife, anyone can sign on its own making the an offer to purchase, but the property will be registered on both names. Make sure that there's not like a case where a client is busy with a divorce case, because then the one part is going ahead and make the offer to purchase, but when it comes to the registration, it will be registered on both parties, and unless they are already being divorced. But that can happen a day before divorcee, and then there's big drama again. Foreign buyers may purchase property in South Africa but must be in a position of a permanent or temporary residence permit. The qualifying for a mortgage loan of 50% of the purchase price and must open a non-resident bank account in South Africa. Illegal immigrants do not qualify to purchase a property. If someone, example a tourist from a foreign country, has entered the country on a permit stamped in his or her passport, he or she is entitled to purchase a property in South Africa. This 50% mortgage loan thing, the banks already reviewed that. I'm getting now 100% at ABSA for non-resident immigrant or foreigners. It depends from where they come, what they're doing, as long as they are, they've got a work permit. Negotiating with a buyer. When the selling cycle is in the negotiating with the buyer phase, the estate agent needs to understand and put into practice the following steps. Know the client and the property, prepare the plan, point out of benefits, recognize the buying signals, handle objections, finally make the written offer to purchase. Negotiating with a buyer is accumulation of everything that has transparent up until now in the selling cycle. Guys, and it's so important, if you take a buyer out, or that you might plan to take a buyer out, if they told you that I don't want a swimming pool, don't take them to places where there is swimming pools. You are going to waste your and their times. So stick to what they say they would like to view and what they want. And then recognize the buying signals. One of the signals that I always ask the buyers, and if they or listen them out, if they start talking, that's why it's always important for you not to talk too much. You must let the husband and wife talk, or let the buyer talk to you, but you mustn't talk too much, because once they start placing the furniture in the house, like where are they going to put the couch, where are they going to put the beds, I always ask the kids, which room would you like to have? And when the kids start fighting about the rooms, you know, your deal is there, because then the parents will feel comfortable, the kids will be happy there. There is some questions that you can ask to see what is the signals. Will they sell? Because will they buy? Then you can quickly ask them, where are we going to go and meet to sign the offer to purchase? Are you going to take them to this office, or like we do sometimes at the Spur? But please do not buy any alcohol, because then that contract is null and void. No estate agency can rely only on a brand, salesmanship and personality to get business today. They have to be more strategical, positioned, and be able to differentiate themselves from their competition by being well organized and by appointing and training the right salespeople. Yes, also estate agents mustn't only, what they also say here, rely only on the brand. Is like canvassing, put your property on the website, and now you're waiting for clients. It is also your this real estate business is a strange type of business, because you are actually building your own business. It is your own little company that you are building for. So you mustn't only rely on the brand that you are registered with. Do your own advertising. Go to My Roof, register there as an individual agent, and go to Gumtree, go to Junkmail, go to Facebook, all the platforms that you can find. And there are so many free platforms where you can register and advertise as well. I always say, if you did your advertisement and you go to Google and you put your name in, or you put that address in, you must, that whole first page of Google must be your ad. If you don't see your ad on that first page, then you know you haven't advertised enough. And the company is only going to give you the platforms on the website where they are registered and where their website are pulling through. In any real estate office where there is more than one estate agent who must canvass for properties, market them to potential purchasers, and wrap up the selling transaction, these agents need to be organized into sales teams. The advantage of having teams that work together rather than having agents competing with one another in the same office is obvious. Multiple skills are bundled together to better service the client, which are both beneficial for the client as well as for the people on the team. Sales teams also help build client confidence and communicate value. Salespeople are, however, normally highly competitive individuals who may have difficulty being good team players. In order for team selling to work effectively, salespeople is required who are willing to make sacrifices for worthwhile team goals. The following are critical success factors in organizing sales teams. Building trust amongst team members is essential, and team members must possess a strong sense of trust in the other team members. Having the right people who have the right attitude, example, who have a desire to serve their clients. Members must all be self-motivated to work equally hard as to not let other team members down. Having people who are trying to engage in healthy conflict that results in conflict resolution. Having people that can be counted on, example, they must be willing to be held accountable for their actions and do what they say they will do. All team members must be capable of utilizing good communication tools, processes, and systems. Building motivated sales teams. One major personal testing company has defined the following as the personal traits of a successful salesperson. Stability, self-sufficient, self-confident, goal-directed, decisive, intellectual, curious, and accurate. The following 5 traits have also been identified: optimistic, flexible, self-motivated, a people person, and empathetic. When a property guru in South Africa was questioned on which characteristics a successful estate agent should have, she responded with determination, confident attitude, passion for property, and integrity. All sales teams need to be motivated externally by good compensation systems with built-in benefits and incentives. Salespeople also thrive on recognition, and they need to be secure in their knowledge that they will be heard in the event that they encounter problems. Team building is of utmost importance for any team to function optimally. Listing systems. Properties that are for sale can be listed with estate agents that belong to a multi-listing organization. All members of the multi-listing organization have national access to the listed properties information and can refer potential buyers to the agents working in the particular listing area. Just for interest sake, in your area, do you have a multi-listing system there?
No, Rina, we don't have. But in our area, the other principals want to drive over you if they see you in the street. So I don't think it will work.
And this is just for interest sake. We also battle with multi-listing systems, but I think in our areas it works well because you know, what is nice is that if you take a multi-listing system, whatever mandate you sign, it's a sole and exclusive sole mandate. So the agencies share under each other, and then the commission gets shared. On the one system that I know of, is the commission is a 40-60 split. The listing agent is getting 40% and the selling agent is getting 60%, and the sales are actually going very well there. So at least you get something faster in for your work that you're doing. Compilation of sales teams. The sales team can be organized in a variety of ways depending on the size of the office and the area that needs to be covered. Agents can work individually or in partnerships with one or more other agents. Teams can be arranged according to the different property types that need to be serviced in the area. It's like the commercial, industrial, leisure properties, agricultural property, residential, separate title deeds, residential sectional titles, new property developments. You can actually train yourself to work in a specific area and range, because each one has got its own problems and laws and regulations. So I think if you qualify yourself in a specific field, you can be very professional. One of the most important services provided by a estate agent is establishing a market-related price at which a property can be marketed. So you've got a value-based approach to pricing. Is a straightforward and relatively simple process that is applied by the estate agent. This method can be applied to the estimation of value of residential property where dwellings are of similar utility, and it is assumed that the sales have taken place as close to the date of valuation as possible. Provision needs to be made for the adjustments as two properties two properties have exactly the same utility, and the time factor has to be taken into consideration as well. The cost-based approach is applied by adding together the values of the competent parts of the property to arrive at its total value. It's interesting to see on property 24, if you go to that statistics, is there anybody that doesn't know property 24's statistic page on area statistics? Okay, I will do that one for you as well, because it's nice to see how many property or the properties that's in the market, for how much is it actually advertising for, and what is the average registered property price in that specific area. We will quickly touch on that one. I will do that one tomorrow night with you. Property value. Sellers often want estate agents to market their properties at inflated prices, such as the seller is either not a motivated serious seller or is uninformed. It is the agent's duty to explain to the seller how the property market functions, and that is not in the seller's best interest to under or overprice a property. A bona fide sale takes place at a fair market value, and the best price to begin marketing at is close to a fair market value as possible. The following are distinct advantages of pricing a property correctly: a faster sale, the best price is achieved, less inconvenience, better response to advertisements, more qualified buyers, no ridiculous offers, a secure sale. The method of estimating what a property will sell for is based on those prices that have been paid recently in the market from comparable properties. This is called the method of comparative market analysis, and the value that is derived is based on what a buyer would be prepared to pay for a similar property. Example, the principle of substitution. This is an example of a value-based pricing technique and is applied to most second-hand properties that are to be sold in the near future. Factors that influence property values. The local level of estate agent needs to consider the following as important factors that influence value. The utility of the property, which is influenced by the physical nature, the location, legal use, the relative scarcity of the property, demand and supply. This is just one thing that I can mention is if you take Sunnyside in Pretoria, the flats that is there for sale, you will see sometimes there's a flat for sale for 280,000 Rand, and everybody's going to jump on that wagon because it's dead cheap. But when you start collecting the levy account, you will see sometimes the levy is 1,800 up to 2,500. I've seen that. So if you take that 280, say for instance, they have to pay back on the bond like 2,000 Rand, plus that another 2,000, it's 4,000, nearly 4,000 Rand that they have to pay back. What is the income that your purchaser must have to qualify for that? So you must make sure that that is definitely the utility of the property is a very big influential account of the value of the property. Any comment to this? The comparative market analysis, in order to apply the CMA, the agent needs to firstly gather the market information as discussed above. Obviously, the agent needs to firstly inspect the subject property thoroughly and get as much information as possible. Yes, I know now in COVID we battled to get into properties to inspect it properly, but you have to make a plan to see if you can get it and also take your own pictures. Sometimes the seller is taking pictures and is sending it to all the agents, and when you see the internet is flooded with the same pictures with different prices. So it's better to inspect the property, get a way to inspect the property. Description of the property, size of the earth, date of assessment, purpose of assessment, utility attributes, financial details, and reason for assessment. And it's very important to know why is the seller wants to sell. Comparable properties would be comparable with respect to the utility factors, the physical nature of the property's location and legal use, a number of properties that have recently sold, description of the property, size of the earth, date of the sale, utility attributes, financial details, reason for selling. A number of properties that is recently came onto the market and have not yet sold. It's also basically the same. You must have all the details on that. Obtaining a mandate. Do you want us to go through the mandate rather tomorrow night? Because the mandate is a few pages. It's 5 minutes before 7. Do you think we can start here tomorrow night?
I think so, Rina.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, because the mandate is a very important document, especially now also with the property practitioner bill. So I think we must go through it thoroughly. Any questions then up to you? We will then start with the mandate. Let's hear, is there any, does everybody want to ask any questions or comment up to here? I will make sure that everything is showing on LMS. If not by tomorrow morning, please let me know. Then I can communicate with Manasseh and see if there's any problems. I don't foresee any problems. You understand now about the financial part and the communication part that we will do afterwards. So that is the reason why there's a gap in the numbering. Okay. All right, guys, then this is all for tonight. If there's no questions, Numisa, do you have any questions maybe or suggestions?